Hi, we're in Mahia Peninsula today. Mahia Peninsula is on the east coast of the North Island of New Zealand. It's halfway between Gisborne, which is up there, and halfway between Napier, which is right down there in the point. So we've just, as you know, I've just been overseas. I was overseas in the Caribbean for about 4 weeks, and it's interesting. I've come home here I was working in the Caribbean, and I've come back to New Zealand for a holiday, and I've gone to the beach for a holiday. So go figure. I must obviously like the beach. It's a beautiful place here. It's very rural New Zealand, so the batches they have are really the old style batches, which is really Kiwiana, which is really lovely. It's not big flashy houses there. Old sort of like shed type batches, which is really cool. The weather's been great. It's been a bit windy, but it's really hot. On the east coast of New Zealand, it's stinking hot. She gets 35 degrees, she gets up to 40 sometimes. She's really warm here. And we've had a bit of wind lately, but today she's pretty still, and it's quite a glary sky with the sun. So carrying on with our tips, our health tips, we're doing all the organs of the body, and we're up to, I think we did the stomach last time, we're up to the spleen today. And the spleen's a really important organ. The spleen, and this is in Chinese medicine, the spleen's very important. What it does is take the energy off the food. The lungs take the energy off the air that we breathe, and the spleen takes the energy off the food. One's the Gucci and one's Dachi. It's the two sources of energy we get. One's from food, as I say, one's from energy from the breath we have. So the spleen's really important to have it really strong, and if it's working really well, then you get the full benefit from the energy from the food. Otherwise the food just travels straight through, you don't take the energy off. So it's really important that you have a healthy spleen. So but what we're doing is the emotions of the spleen, which is interesting, because remember, the spleen's the one that if you get run down and tired, or if you're studying too much, because the spleen's in charge of your brain and your thinking of your brain and your mind. So if your mind gets really overstressed and too much thinking, it damages the spleen qi. And a good example of that is students, because students get spleen qi deficient because they're studying all the time, using lots of brain power, and it burns out their spleen energy. So as long as they're looking after their spleen and eating good spleen food, then it'll be fine. So the emotions of the spleen, there's a few of them. So we'll go through the good emotions of the spleen first. And you'll notice there's a lot to do with it, why you understand about the thinking and the studying thing. The first one's about reasoning ability. You have really good mind to work out problems and to solve problems. You have a very clear memory. You remember everything. Everything's very clear in your mind. You have clear thought processes. You're honest. You're honest about who you are and what's going on around you. Introspective. You have a high opinion or strong opinions, which can be a good thing or a bad thing. You have your loyalty. You find you're very loyal to the people around you and to the things you love. You have a strong willpower. You've got a lot of drive to do things. You have a sense of satisfaction and achievement. You always have this sense of achievement. You're always driving for achievement and satisfaction. You have ideas and creativity. You always see the real mental part of this is about their minds always creating and always thinking of things. And you're always good at expressing sympathy with other people, or being sympathetic. Now if your spleen's not well, it gets the other ones, which is pretty much the opposite of those ones, and you worry a lot. You have poor concentration. You can imagine what happened if you're a student and you get these. You have forgetfulness. You have cloudy thought processes. Addictions. You become addicted to things. You need things to make you feel good. Attachments, obsessions, gluttony, jealousy, self-pity, strong concern about the opinions of other people. So you're worried about what other people say. You become really stubborn. You get really fixed in what you want to do, and there's vanity. You become very aware of what you look like as well. So if your spleen's not strong, then you're going to get these symptoms or these emotions coming at you. So I just want to mention those. The foods that come with the spleen. Now, as I said, I've got copies of these if you're interested in the spleen foods that make you strong. So that, of course, if you're a student, you should be eating lots of these things. Or if you have a job that has really high mental stress levels, good foods. Some of the grains, it says piles of them here. Rice, oats, rye, spelt, wheats. Vegetables, we've got carrots, cauliflowers, cucumbers, potatoes, pumpkins, fruits, avocados and cherries, and dates and figs. Dates are a really important one. I have dates every morning because I know that they're really strong about the sugar content and well, the fruit sugars you get from them, but they're also really good for the spleen, good for the mind's thinking. Beans, we have lentils and we have peas and we have soya beans as well. can't get the page over here. The nuts we have peanuts, pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds. For the fish you have salmon, sardines, white fish, eels, crabs. Meats you have chickens and geese. Not that you want to eat a goose, but if you wanted to. Lamb, mutton, pork. Herbs, there's a whole pile of herbs including cloves and fennel seeds. Garlic, ginger, olive oils, the oils, olive oil, peanut oils. Honey is good for it, malt sugar is good for it, molasses is good for it. And for beverages, jasmine tea, peppermint tea, chamomile is good for the spleen as well. So all of these things are good for the spleen. So if your spleen's strong, your mind's clear, your processing's clear, you work out problems, you solve problems really well, and when things come at you, you can just go, okay, I'm going to do this, this and this, and you don't have any, you know, sometimes you get brain fog. Well, brain fog's a classic part of spleen qi deficiency. When you get all this information, you go, oh, go away, I can't deal with it. It's like too much, it's overwhelming. That's a spleen qi deficiency thing. So the stronger your spleen, the clearer the thinking. So have a great day. We're going to go for a swim now. Actually, we think we're going to go do some diving because the weather's pretty good now. So we've had a couple of rough days. We're going to go and do some snorkeling just over the other side of the island. So have a good day, and we'll next swing back to, and we'll do the next one, and we'll see where we are when we do that one. Cheers. Bye bye.